Well, good evening, everybody. It's Dave England. Welcome to Wine with Dave. It's going to be wine o'clock for the next 60 minutes. I am here. I am your host of the popular Facebook page, live show thingy, Zoomy thingy, Facebooky thingy. How's everybody doing? Type in where you're from. Just type it in there. I want to see where you guys are from. Who do we have tonight? Mock Burger. I got Mock Burger on the brain. As I'm moving, Mock Burger on the brain. Tonight's going to be a trippy episode. Just a little trippy. Not too trippy. Cool. Who else do we have? We've got from San Diego, California. Rick Greenwood, my buddy from Rick Greenwood. My buddy Rick Greenwood. Wacky Wednesday. Oh yeah, it's Wacky Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday. Hope everyone's doing okay. It's September 16th. I got a great guest on. Probably the most unique guest I've had so far. Based on what he sells and his business model. Really, really cool. Met him through a friend, Mark Berger. Thank you, Mark, if you're listening. I know you're watching. And so, yeah, we're all going to get to know him and learn about how he is doing with his business. But, man, it's a new look. I got rid of the wood panel to the right of my little thing here. Like that, showing off my telly in the back. I miss my... I got a 63 Saturn. This thing is a beauty. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look at that thing. From 1963. Not quite a birth year, but close. Look at that sucker. Yeah, Westwood Guitars make reissues of these, and they're like $750. This is the real thing. The real thing, 1963. I feel bad. It's like I should put it back in. I should switch my guitars around a bit. But anyway, where y'all from? Mock Burger is from Cumberland, Rhode Island. Cool. Welcome. Glad to help. Nice. We're going to get right into Did You Know? People like Did You Know? And so I'm going to play Did You Know? Here we go. Ready? And I always have 3 Did You Knows that you can actually give an answer to if you're so inclined. Okay. The first one is in honor of Eric Robichaud tonight, and I know you don't know this, most people don't know this, but Bob Marley was buried with his red Gibson guitar, remember that? And the Bible open to Psalm 23, and a cannabis bud. Alright, so his Gibson red guitar, Bible open to Psalm 23, and a cannabis bud. Well, Dave, what does Psalm 23 say, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you. And it's very fitting for Bob Marley. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack anything. He makes me lie down in green pastures." Yep, that's why you're watching the show. Did you know? You get to learn some things. Red guitar, Psalm 23, and a canvas bud. Bury the man. Miss him, wish he was still alive. Did you know that stewardesses is the longest word that is typed using only the left hand? If you're just tuning in, this is Wine with Dave. I'm Dave England, your host. And I got my wine glass. It's actually cinnamon whiskey. Oh, that is good. It just hits the throat. It's nice. It soothes the throat. Come on, 29 Palms. What are you drinking tonight? Hershey Kisses are called that because the machine that makes them looks like it's kissing the conveyor belt. Bet you didn't know that. Also, this is interesting. American Airlines saved $40,000 in 1987 by eliminating what? They eliminated 1 olive from each salad served on first class. $40,000. More than 50% of the people in the world have never made or received a telephone call. Bet you didn't know that. Did you know that there's not one word in the English language that rhymes with month orange, silver, or purple? All you songwriters out there, pull out your guitars, start writing, see if you can work it out. Month, orange, silver, or purple? All right, here's the first interactive. All right, and I want people to guess. What is the shortest complete sentence in the English language? What is the shortest complete sentence in the English language? Just type in sentence and dash and then what you think it is. Did you know the phrase rule of thumb is derived from an Old English law which stated that you couldn't beat your wife with anything wider than your thumb? I'm going to have a drink on that one. I'm not going to drink to that. I'm just having a drink after that one. I'd be in trouble if I drank to that. Jeez. Did you know that the word testify is based on the ancient Roman practice of making men swear on their testicles when making a statement in court? Testify. Do you testify? I do believe I do. I'm just going to leave that there. There's humor there, I think. Yeah, I should drink to that one too. I like that. See, I love this. I learn a lot when I do this too. Ah, cinnamon. It puts hair on you. Testify. In England, in the 1800s, pants were considered a dirty word. All right, here's the next interactive. Coca-Cola was originally what color? I don't mean the logo, I mean, Coca-Cola. What was the color? And here's the third and last interactive. What U.S. state capital happens to be the only one without a McDonald's? To this day, it does not have a McDonald's. A U.S. state capital, no McDonald's. Did you know there is a bar in London that sells vaporized vodka, which is inhaled instead of sipped? And Americans, on average, eat 18 acres of pizza every day. And that wraps up Did You Know? All right, come on, people. I want you to guess. What is 29 Palms doing? Drinking hard seltzer tropical cherry. That's cool. Haven't had it. Shortest sentence in the. Okay, so you're already guessing. Shortest complete sentence in the English language. Oh, that could be the English language. Maybe it's Hebrew converted to English. Rick thinks it's Jesus wept. He's close. I'll give a hint. It's only one word. He's close, though. Rule of thumb. Mark Berger, yikes. Yeah, yikes. Yeah, Mark, what are you drinking tonight? Come on, wine with Dave. Got to have some. Share your drinks with me. Okay, Rick Greenwood thinks Coca-Cola was white. Eric Robichaud thinks it was green. Well, you know what? Let's answer the first question here, okay? What's the shortest complete sentence? Anybody? Bueller? It is 2 letters. And the shortest sentence in the English language is go. Go. Get out of here. Second one. Coca-Cola was originally what color? Eric thinks oi. He's oi. Close, oi. Actually, it's green. Who got that right? Did someone get green? Eric got it right. My guest got it green. That's like your color. Okay, last one. U.S. state capital with no McDonald's. Anybody? Let's see. Anybody? I got to look down here. Mark Berger thinks Birmingham, Alabama. No, he's drinking a Bud, though. And he thinks I is the shortest. Well, that's not a sentence. That's the shortest word, but it's not a sentence. Nobody's guessing. Guess what it is? Rick Greenwood says U.S. capital, no Mickey D, Utah. Good guess. Actually, it's Montpelier, Vermont. Ain't having it. Yep. No McDonald's there. Sorry. All right. Today, ready for the news today, guys? Today is September 16th, 2020. It is. Are we ready? It's this today. It's National Play-Doh Day. Play-Doh inventor Joe McVicker of Cincinnati, Ohio. He sold this initially as wallpaper cleaner. When his father died in 1949, his mother hired him to help with the family business, Coutole Products Company. Right about that time, oil furnaces began replacing coal burner furnaces. It wasn't long before the wallpaper cleaner sales dwindled. So Joe McVicker had to come up with something. So in 1955, McVicker took the wallpaper cleaner stuff, right? And he began testing the cleaner as a modeling clay in classrooms and daycares for students. Seeing that the product worked, he named it Play-Doh, and he went into business with his uncle under the name Rainbow Crafts Company. To protect their new product, McVicker filed for a patent in 1958, 3 years later. Usually takes that long. However, the patent wasn't approved until January 26, 65, 7 years after that. By then, General Mills had purchased the company. Around the same time McVicker was testing Play-Doh, a new children's television show began broadcasting on CBS. Bob Keeshan played the role of Captain Kangaroo. While Play-Doh sales were nice, they weren't spectacular, but McVicker had an idea. He asked Captain Kangaroo to promote his modeling clay on his show. The children's television show host agreed, and the children's iconic modeling clay took off. In 1998, the Toy Hall of Fame inducted Play-Doh into its hallowed halls. That's a cool story, huh? If you got a good idea, you got to patent it, and then you need someone who's an influencer, right? Eric knows that. He's on tonight. He's going to talk about some influencers. Hey, what else happened today? Let me take Play-Doh off. I used to eat Play-Doh. Anybody eat Play-Doh? I used to read Play-Doh, too. This guy, 1925, born on this day, B.B. King, considered one of the most influential blues musicians of all time. King is known for his unique style, ability to cross genres, his long playing career. King started recording in the 1940s and had his first national hit, 3 O'Clock Blues, in 1949. His many hits include Let the Good Times Roll, The Thrill Is Gone, and Rock Me Baby. King played over 300 concerts a year until he was in his 70s. King was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in '87, won 16 Grammys throughout his career, including a Lifetime Achievement Award in 1987. Personally, B.B. King's vibrato should be listed in the Music Hall of Fame. Amazing, amazing vibrato. Lastly, going to end on a bad note. I'm that kind of guy. 1977, Mark Bolan, 29-year-old former T-Rex singer. Mark Bolan was killed instantly when the car driven by his girlfriend, Gloria Jones, left the road and hit a tree in Barnes, London. Miss Jones broke her jaw in the accident. The couple were on their way to Bolan's home in Richmond after a night out at a Mayfair restaurant. A local man who witnessed the crash said, "When I arrived, a girl was lying on the bonnet, and a man with a long, dark, curly hair was stretched out in the road. There was a hell of a mess." We lost Mark Bolan. What would have Mark Bolan become? Amazing, amazing. So, enough of that. It's a sad note, right? But we're moving along. It's 9:14. If you're just joining, this is Wine with Dave. I'm Dave. I'm trying to move things along. Tell me where you're from. Rick Greenwood says Vermont, 25 Ben & Jerry's and no McDonald's. Yeah, huh? Interesting. Gangsta for your love. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. It's not just bang a gong. There's so much more. Listen, I got a guest on tonight, and pretty excited about that. Let me cue things up. Tomorrow night, this week is going to be good. Friday, I have, if you guys are into Led Zeppelin, if you're into hard rock, if you are just a music fan, you have got to tune in Friday night, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock if you're on California time. My guest is Jack Bowden. He looks like Jimmy Page. When I tell you he looks like him, I'm telling you, he is a dead ringer. He's like a 20-year-old Jimmy Page lookalike. And if that's not enough, this kid cops his style. He sounds just like Jimmy Page. He's got that like biting blues Les Paul sound. Oh my gosh. He needs to, if you know, they did the Freddie Mercury movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. If they're doing a movie on Led Zeppelin, this kid is got to be Jimmy Page. You gotta come. Just come. That's Friday. Thursday night's going to be good too. Thursday night, my guest is Danielle Harbour, who runs a hyper-local magazine for affluent neighborhoods. And she's a great friend. She is going to rock the town tomorrow night. But tonight, you're in for a treat. Eric Robichaud has been selling online since the mid-'90s and has built numerous successful online brands and product lines over the years. His current business, Green Goddess Supply, love that name, is an online cannabis supply store with a unique twist for home growers. Check this out.
Introducing the Armoire. The Armoire is a 100% organic, legal herb grow system designed to blend seamlessly into your home. Go from seed to harvest in as little as 60 days. We make that as easy as unbox, power up, plant, and water. If you can water a houseplant once a day, you can now successfully grow your own abundant, high-yielding legal herbs with the Armoire. The Armoire provides your specific auto-flowering plant with the optimal lighting and growing conditions needed to generate the highest possible yields year-round. Stop overpaying for expensive legal herbs. With our time-tested proprietary growing protocol, you'll know exactly what's in your plant from beginning to end. No mold, no pests, no overfeeding or overwatering. The Armoire is easy to use, easy to set up, energy efficient, and state-of-the-art. Our unit only uses about 150 watts of energy. That's the same amount of energy you use to power a small appliance. Its ultra-silent filtration system eliminates all scents and makes little to no noise. The Armoire is masterfully built with lightweight, mold and mildew-resistant material and comes in your choice of wood veneer finish, built to blend beautifully within your home. Our 90-day complimentary concierge customer service ensures that your first grow with Armoire is a positive experience. Keep your guests guessing until you are ready to show off your pungent, high yields. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today. The Armoire, the simple, discreet, organic, quality, home grow system.
And all that kind of
Hey,
stuff.
there he is. Hi, Eric. What's going on?
Hey, how we doing tonight?
We are doing great. We're doing great. You don't look like someone that would be in the cannabis industry. I just want to say that. You're very businesslike.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I spent about 30 years as a computer nerd first. So
Really?
software engineer, and then ran a marketing business related. Over 30 years, things shift and change, and the old school started off on 5.25-inch floppy disks, and then to CD-ROMs, and now everything's on the web, and went to websites, and but yeah, I'm a software nerd by background.
There you go. That's cool. So you work in the cannabis industry.
Indeed.
And I'm going to be careful not to use the M word. I don't know how Facebook, they scrape through and hear words, and they could just shut this whole live feed down if they hear a wrong word. I mean, October 1st, I was just telling you that October 1st, they're passing these new laws. You can't, well, it's their laws.
Their rule.
No original music or pre-recorded music. So all these bands who are doing live feeds, there's thousands of them. I don't know what they're going to do. So I'm afraid to use the M word, but we'll use cannabis. I think that's safe. So you're in the cannabis industry, What were you doing before that? Just right up to that point? Is that what you were doing? You just being a nerd right up to that point?
Yeah, I started my first business doing software way back in the late 80s, right around 1990.
Yep.
And then in 93, that's when I first met Vincent Bettetti. We did, back in 1993, we did the Terminator 2 screensaver together. And we did hundreds of software products. And that was back in the day when software was in a box on a shelf in a store.
Mm-hmm.
It was retail distribution. It was physical product. Then obviously, floppy disks went the way of the dinosaurs, and everything went online and web and so forth. My business shifted with that, and we got into a lot of web development, database-driven websites, and then it started becoming more of an agency approach to developing all this software and web-based systems and as marketing tools for businesses.
Mm-hmm.
It expanded to become more of a marketing and branding and custom development type agency. It's kind of gone full circle. 30 years later, Vincent and I are working together again, and we're back in product businesses again.
There you go. It's good that you have a background that's with marketing and running a business and getting the nuts and bolts in your brain. And then now you start something, you know how to go. So have you had any failures going forward, or is it semi-smooth sailing because you kind of know what you're doing?
Of course. Basically, it's all about gaining experience, and experience just really means going through failures and learning from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so absolutely, everyone, it's very rare for someone just to like trip through life being successful all the time.
Right.
It's through your failures and issues and problems, but for me, it's always never quit, never give up. You learn from it, you move forward, and they're learning exercises. It's not failures, really. I'm using that term because you used it, but it's not failures, it's learning experiences.
Yeah, I like
and build and grow.
There's a book I read. I forget who wrote it. Failing Forward. Great book. Right. You're going to fail, and you actually want to fail a lot, so you can learn from it.
Right.
Multiply
Absolutely.
your failures. Really cool. Failing Forward. So the armoire. That is the big product you have. Is this your introductory product?
No, not at all. We've been around for a few years, 5 years actually. We started in the accessory business, so things like grinders, really nice, high quality grinders, big ones, little ones. We have nice line of this is a bamboo sifter box. So you use your grinder, you grind up your legal herb.
Yeah.
And put it into the stash box, and it's beautiful. It's nice. I leave this on my coffee table, and then it's your stash box, and then in the bottom you collect up keef, which is the really good stuff, the caviar of weed, I like to call it.
The caviar,
caviar of weed, and then and pipes and all kinds of good stuff. So we have a catalog of over 200 accessories that we sell to smoke shops, head shops, dispensaries, and of course on our website, direct to consumer. And then obviously the armoire is our flagship product, and that's one of our newest products, and something we've been working on for the 5-6 years now. It's been a Herculean task to bring this to market, but it's something we're absolutely excited. We're thrilled about. We've shipped hundreds of them now. It's people are using them, growing, having great success, and we're pretty excited about it. And that's we call it furniture inspired. It looks like furniture. We call it the armoire because it looks like an armoire just sitting in your living room, flying under radar.
It does look like that. Do you have any carpentry experience, or was that you brought people on to design this thing?
I have to give credit to Vincent. It was he and I have worked together for going back, like I said, a good 27 years now. It was probably about 6 years ago that he mentioned this. He had a background in botany. He's the sort of plant nerd. But you couldn't make a career out of that. It was illegal back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and up until just fairly recently. So he had the day job in corporate, but he had gone to college for botany, and so he's a big sort of plant nerd. I say I'm a software nerd. He was a plant nerd, and
hardware, software.
Yep, and he had an amazing grower and did a lot of consulting and all that. He's out in California. And so people would come to him, and everyone was asking him. They'd come to all his friends and family would say like, "Oh, can you teach me to grow? Can you I want to grow. I just want it just for personal use, just for myself. I'm not trying to be a dealer. I don't want to sell it. I'm not trying to open a dispensary, but just for personal use. You teach me how to. I just want to grow one plant at home. Can you teach me?" And he got enough requests that he started working on putting together a system and a process for just how do I simplify this? How do I take this beginner who's never grown before, doesn't know what they're doing, and simplify this? And that was the genesis of the armoire. And one of the things we say is that we're grow tents. Everybody else has taken the natural process of growing cannabis outdoors and trying to replicate that indoors. And what he did was took a completely different approach to it and said, no, let's, and I use a term like, like in Vegas, stacking the cards in your favor, right? Sort of cheating, if you will. Mm-hmm. The old Kobayashi Maru, right? What he did was he and I have a cat climbing around on me. What we did was we re-engineered the process to simplify the process, then built the armoire to help support and semi-automate that process. So we didn't just try to replicate outdoors, indoors. We came up with a new way and then built the hardware to support that. So we have our own protocol that just basically, we like to say, at its most simplest form, if you can water a houseplant once a day, you can now grow cannabis at home.
It's a beautiful piece of furniture. I mean, for everybody listening out there, go to greengoddesssupply.com. Just kind of tag it in your browser, visit it later, or go to YouTube and you'll look Green Goddess Supply. You'll see it. There's a story, and actually I just played the video. But it's a beautiful piece of furniture. What types of wood do you use?
Actually, it's not. It's not made of wood. That's one of the big things. It's made out of a composite material. It's not wood, because wood, you're growing something in it. Okay, so you have humidity issues. So you're going to lead to warping and that sort of thing. Oh. Plus, wood, cellulosic material, will grow mold and things like that. So it's actually not made of wood. It's much lighter, and it's essentially made of a composite sort of plastic material that is, I don't want to say fireproof, but it's got the absolute possible highest rating, fire retardant rating you can have. It basically you hold flame to it and it's not going to catch fire.
Wow.
So it's fire retardant, but it's antimicrobial, anti-mildew. Like it's not.
Yeah, no mold, which is great.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can wipe it down and between your grows, and even things like when you're growing, if someone makes a mistake and let's say they grow a male plant instead of a female plant, or they do certain things that can happen, and you get pollen in there, you don't want pollen residue like wood in the pores and that sort of thing. So this is a material you can just wipe down. And it's very lightweight. It's easy. The whole thing, when it's the cabinet itself assembled, it's like 40 pounds. I mean, one person, you can just lift it, move it. Really?
The thing looks like it's about 80 pounds, 100 pounds. Like, that's great. Good idea.
Yeah,
really cool.
There's an awful lot that went into it. It's one of those things. It's just like the hardest thing in the world to do is to simplify, right? So I mean, before the iPhone, if you remember, back in the day, before the iPhone, your average phone had 20, 30 buttons on it. Now the iPhone had like 2.
Yeah.
So simplifying is hard. And with this, it was also trying to get it in a small space, get the maximum yields in a small space. It was sort of like playing whack-a-mole, like all these interactions. Like if you fix one thing, like it's let's say you want to get it small. Okay, you got it small, but now it's too hot in the box. So you say, okay, then let's do this to fix that, but it creates this other problem. Then you do something to fix that, and it creates this other problem. And it was a lot of work to get it all balanced and working and kind of at equilibrium. So
sounds like an engineer's dream. An engineer would look at that and say, this is what we need to do.
Right. Well, that's why, it took about 4 or 5 years of development, prototyping. It's taken a lot of work. I show this off at trade shows, and I'll have people come up and say, oh, I took an old cabinet and built one of those once. I'm like, okay, you still using it? Nah, it got too hot. It got this, it got that. I'm like, right.
That's the reason why you're not using it. Are you working on a patent for it?
Oh, it's patent. Yeah, we've already applied, years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a couple of patents. It's patent pending. We're just about at the end now, but it's all patent pending. It takes years, and with COVID, there were some delays and slowdowns in the processing and all that. But we're pretty much right at the end now.
That's good. Good for you. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You just need a Captain Kangaroo to kind of take it on and show it like Play-Doh.
Exactly. So we've got a couple tricks up our sleeve that we're hoping to pull the trigger on fairly shortly.
So what do you? Go ahead.
I would say we get container loads of them at a time, and they keep selling out. They're about 80% sold out by the time they land, and the last 2 container loads they were sold out in 24 hours. So the next containers that are landing, we are at our warehouse here. One of those was shipping off. We have a very special sort of celebrity influencer that we're delivering one to. I'm not gonna say that.
There's only one guy I know that could do that and take it out of the stratosphere. Snoop Dogg. You don't have to tell me if it's under wraps, but
Yeah, right.
You're not going to say anything.
Yeah, no.
All right, that's cool. Sales are good. How's sales looking?
It's awesome. Like I said, we can't keep them in stock. They keep selling out. And people are asking us about it, and we're telling them, place the orders online right now and reserve them, because by the time they land, they're sold out. So there's
That's
no point
cool.
waiting. You got to just get in there and reserve them.
So what do you say to someone who's never grown? Like, I've never grown pot.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Is it easy? Is it easy? Does it come with instructions, or is it just like, here's the thing? And
Oh yeah, no. Oh no, actually the opposite. It's one of the things that people say that they love about what we're doing here is that the customer service. It's that over the top type customer service. We have concierge service that's free for customers. And it's hand holding the whole way. We'll get on the phone with them. We'll do video calls with them, walk them through stress training and different advanced techniques. No, we're helping and teaching people to grow in the cabinet. It's very different than like a grow tent or some other thing where big, smelly, ugly, noisy grow tents and stuff that you got to hide in the basement or up in the attic somewhere.
Yeah.
And when you get it home, it's just hardware. You get it home, you're on your own. And they're just trying to replicate the outdoor process indoors, which is extremely complicated. And most people fail and have terrible results their first time out. You really got to stick to it. And a lot of the hobbyists, novice, the first timers give up on it. I was talking to a dispensary just last week. I mentioned, he didn't know anything about our product. I said home grow system, and he goes, oh yeah, I don't care about those. People, I see it all the time. People try to grow, they do it once, they fail, and they're back in the dispensary. And I'm thinking to myself, normally you're right. You don't understand our product, though. Our product is, our people are all having success the first time out because it's a very simplified process. This is geared for the person who's never done it before.
Wow. So this is you're in competition with the dispensary. That's the big difference, is that you got some training. Was it like 90 days of online support? 60?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We give. No, I'm sorry. I was jumping ahead to anticipating your question. It's 60 days to grow. 60 days per cycle on plants on average.
Yep.
But yeah, we give 90 days of free customer service, free top end concierge service to make sure you get through your whole first grow. And we won't start that clock until you get the machine all set up and start growing. I mean, it's not from the moment you order it; it's from when you get it and you set it up and start your grow. We'll through your whole first grow for sure. Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, we do have like an extended warranty plan where people can extend that to lifetime concierge service. And then, Vincent and I personally, hands-on, are both. We have a special Facebook group, private group for all of our armoire owners, and we're in there all day long, answering questions, posting pictures, interacting with everybody. Got a really great, thriving community. People
that's
never
good.
Before posting pictures of their plants, they're all excited. We got a really great, thriving community, and they're awesome. So now we have hundreds of new best friends. They're awesome.
How long does it take to set one up? So I get the box in the mail, I just crack it open. How long will it take for me to get that thing lit up and ready to plant?
Right. All right. Absolutely. So take you through the process. What happens is they ship via freight. Okay. So it's not in the mail. We don't just slap a stamp on it because it's a cabinet, Mm-hmm. And then it has a whole second accessory box with the light, and we give you a whole bunch. We give you everything you need. We give you like water meters and your pot to grow in and a saucer for under it, all the accessories, everything you need. So it ships via freight, and the way that works, one of the common questions we get about delivery and so forth, it's not like a UPS Amazon package that's going to they actually call it's like a white glove sort of specialty delivery service. What they do is they'll call you 24 hours before the delivery to schedule it with you. And if you're like, oh no, I'm not there, I'm not. Can you do it Thursday instead? Sure. After what?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
With you, so that it's not a surprise. And then they come at that time, deliver it. Then once you get it, open it up. It's between 15 minutes and maybe half an hour to set up, because basically it comes pre-assembled. The cabinet itself is pre-assembled because there's no smell with this, so it's got to be all sealed and everything. And so it is an assembled cabinet, but it's sort of like when you buy a flat screen TV. I mean, you don't have to put it together, the flat screen TV, but you have to plug in the cords, the HDMI cords, plug in the power, get the remote with the batteries in it, maybe plug it all in. There might be some setups at the time and date or whatever, so it's like that. I mean, you don't have to build it. It's not IKEA furniture.
Yeah.
You don't have to build it,
right.
But it's about 15 to 30 minutes of just clip this, clip that, clip the light in. Like, we can't ship it with the light. It hangs on ropes. It'd be swinging all around and getting broken and shit.
Right.
So the light was packed in the box, so you have to open it up, clip the light, hang it. That's all. So it's about half an hour, and basically just a Phillips screwdriver to put on like the door handles. But it's really, I can't say no tools required, because you need a Phillips screwdriver for the door handles.
Right.
But basically, other than a Phillips screwdriver, it's all just clipping and hanging and putting the pot in there and that sort of thing.
That is cool. So someone could just get it, starting a hobby. If they're just slightly interested in the hobby of growing cannabis, this is the perfect thing to do.
Absolutely, because it's very easy, and we're here. Again, it's not like going to a hydro store and buying a tent or a bunch of random equipment, then you get it home and you're on your own.
You must have some great testimonials from people.
We do. We have tons of them. Absolutely tons of them, and we have a whole slew of them that we haven't even put up on the website yet. That'll be going up shortly. It's absolutely amazing. I would say probably 5% of our customers right now are people who have grown before, know what they're doing. Like, we have people like, oh yeah, I used to have a big tent and blah blah blah, but now I've moved to whether it's New York City or Boston, I'm in a little apartment now and a walk up, it's like I don't have room for tents and stuff, so I'm just buying this. But 95% of our customers have never grown before.
Wow.
And a lot of them we got kind of a donut hole. We have a lot of younger sort of millennial folks who like the whole do-it-yourself and want to grow their own and make sure that they know that what they're growing, it's all organic. There's no pesticides, no mold, no pests or bugs or spider mites, or they know it's clean and they do it themselves. And then the other chunk of and it's almost half. And then the other half of our chunk is baby boomers and retirees, where it's a financial thing. It's like, all right, it's a medicinal thing. And it's like, hey, I've been spending, $500 a month at a dispensary, which, by the way, is way better than thousands on, Oxy and prescription drugs and all this stuff. So this is a much better alternative for, pain relief, et cetera, PTSD and anti-anxiety and stress, or whatever the medical reasons are. So that's good. But it's still $500 a month, and that was fine when I was working. But now I'm retired. I'm on my pension and Social Security and whatever, fixed income. And it's like, that's $6,000 a year. Why don't I just buy this cabinet? It's $1,400, and now it's $200 a year. It pays for itself in the very first row, and now it's like $2 a year instead of $6,000, and I can just grow my own.
That is awesome. Are you working on a version 2, or do you feel like you've got it kind of nailed and ready to go out the door?
Oh, yeah, no. Always continual process improvement that's what we believe in. Continual process improvement. So we're
like a larger armoire for someone who has a bigger place.
Yeah. It's kind of like in two tracks simultaneously. The first track is just this model we call the Armoire 60. It's our 60-day strain, a box. So this particular one, we're constantly, like, even the next batch coming, we're continually improving the light, the fan, all the internals. Like, we can always do it better. No matter how good it is, it can always be better. And we're continually improving the product itself. Okay, so now kind of third generation of the Armoire 60. But then on another track, we have 4 other models that we've designed that are in various stages. We haven't gone to production. We're not shipping yet, but we're working through the process of tooling up to do smaller units and bigger units. double wides, start growing multiple plants at the same time. And so we have multiple units already designed and working through the process.
So Eric, and I sound stupid here, but does it come with seeds?
No, it does not. Nope. You're on your own for seeds.
So you just have to kind of search. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, we point you in the right direction. We'll give you suggestions of what we would recommend for breeders, for genetics, the brokers, the actual seed banks, where to buy them, and that sort of thing. That's a whole area where we can't ship with seeds. Right now, the patchwork in the U.S., it's legal in some states, not legal in others. Blah blah blah. The cabinet itself is legal in all 50 states. You can grow in it. You can grow heirloom tomatoes in it. You can whatever.
That was another question I had. Yeah.
But the seeds, we just say, well, they're over here, and then that's up to you to to figure out. So
doesn't even come with a bottle of wine just thrown in there with the peanuts. Just
maybe we should. I'll talk to Vincent about that.
Little upsell, the Supreme, the 60 Supreme. That sounds really cool. So that was my other question. You can grow anything in this. Is it really like a primo growing machine for anything? Like if I wanted to grow roses or whatever, is it like better than just putting a rose seed out in the garden? Or is it really made for marijuana? Oh, I said the M word. Cannabis.
And by the way, just in general, aside from your censorship issues and so forth, which I think would be fine, but because talking about stuff educationally is fine, and Facebook says that's part of the acceptable. But even then aside, we don't use the M word in the industry. It's all about cannabis. Cannabis is a legal, actual scientific name.
True. Yep.
I shouldn't say legal, but proper
scientific. Name. Yeah.
Scientific
cannabis sativa.
Name. Exactly. And marijuana is kind of a derogatory slang word, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't use the M word. The only time you hear it is medicinal marijuana programs, like as a medical thing, because they're called that. So
yeah, assume.
We stick to cannabis. Not gonna lie, it is tuned for that. It is designed for that. It's tuned for that for growing in legal areas. But yeah, you can once it's yours, have at it.
Wow, grow anything you need. That's good. So go on to greengoddesssupply.com and look for that. Now you've got an Instagram account. You've got a lot of followers. You've got massive. Tell me about all the followers you have and some of these people who are repping you and photography and how you get the word out there with marketing.
Sure, absolutely. So this industry is very challenging in many ways. It's exciting and exhilarating and exuberating in ways, and it's also very challenging and frustrating in other ways. I tell people, many people are familiar with running a small business, whether you got a little laundromat or a hair salon or whatever, you're running a gym, whatever. Okay, people who run businesses understand, especially if you have a physical presence business, not like a work from home freelancing thing. That can be challenging too in its own ways. But like especially if you have a physical presence, you have rent and in a like a strip mall plaza, like a hair salon or that sort of thing. Running a small business is not easy. I mean, you have not only all the overhead and expenses, and if business is slow, you still got to pay people, you still got to pay your rent, you still got your fixed overhead. You have all the regulations, and there's always some government agency with not only their hand in your pocket and taxes. You got the local, you got the city, you got the state, you got the feds, but then there's all these regulations, and you can do this, you can't do that. You need this license, that license, 17,000, especially like auto mechanics and stuff. You got all kinds of licensing and all this. Running a small business is hard, okay? And most people who've done it nod their heads and go, oh yeah. Running a business in the cannabis industry is all of that on steroids, because now you ladle in things like, okay, if you're running a hair salon, at least you don't have to worry about coming in one day and finding out that your credit card merchant account was shut off. Oh, because you're in the cannabis industry. Your bank doesn't call you up after 30 years ago. Oh, by the way, yeah, we're not. And these are not things related to you at all. You've done nothing wrong, but they just say, hey, you know what? There was some executive decision, way above my pay grade.
Federally mandated. Yep.
We're not doing bank accounts for your industry anymore. And sorry, you've been with us for 30 years, but we're shutting down your checking account.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just have a whole other layer, and you can't advertise. So in my industry, everything I do is legal. All my stuff is legal. It's just block the wood, sifter boxes, whatever. This is all the head shops, smoke shops all over the country. There's dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, in every city, town, all over the place. All legal stuff. But one day I walked in, my merchant account was shut down, along with 3 other merchants. Okay, 3,000. I'm sorry, 3,000 merchants one day just got shut down.
Wow.
And it's just because the credit card processor, EVO Payments, wanted to sell their business, and they wanted to clean up their book of business, and they wanted to get rid of certain industries, and they just terminated 3,000 accounts one day, and I was one of them. So now you're scrambling, and and it takes you weeks or months to find a merchant account and get all set up and applied and all that stuff. They called me on a Tuesday, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you till Friday though." I'm like, "Oh gee, thanks."
Yeah.
So it's hard, okay? And one of the things that's really hard is you can't advertise in most places. You can't advertise cannabis stuff on any smoking and all the pipes. And that you can't advertise on Google. You can't advertise on Facebook. Those are some of your biggest places online to advertise, and you can't. They'll shut down your pages. It's like it's unbelievable. So what we have to do is use organic. We can't run an ad. But we can do organic social media. So organic social media has become a huge piece of marketing in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get the word out organically, doing things like this podcast, doing things
right.
like
Share. Yep.
Share pages, Twitter, tweeting. So we've got about, I forget the exact number, but something like 14 accounts across like 9 different platforms. We've got our main Facebook page. I have a secondary page that I created just for the home grow stuff and the armoire, because people who are into growing may not care about the other stuff. People who are just consumers and want pipe may not care about the growing.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got like a general page for the business, and then we have a specific growing page. We've got, and then on Instagram, the same thing, generic account, the grow count. Then we've got our Twitter, we've got Pinterest, we've got a bunch of cannabis specific things. Buzz app, which is an app. There's about 9 different platforms we're on, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work posting every day, going on these things, and posting and interacting with people, and getting comments on and people interacting and sending you direct messages on 14 different accounts and stuff, and trying to keep up with that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but what we got to do.
Right.
A lot of use of the influencers. We've got 175 influencers that we work with in our database that help us get the word out. So
explain influences to people that are listening.
Sure. So influencers, also known as brand ambassadors, those are people who just really love your brand, really love what you're doing. They have big audiences and big followings, and you work together and help each other to build and grow your followings. So we have our brand ambassadors that love Green Goddess and love the products, and we have folks that a lot of people are trying to break into modeling and are using this to try to grow a base and get discovered. So they'll and we have the ability to get them published and so forth. So we'll do photo shoots together. So for example, we just put out a press release about our new modern black edition of the armoire. It's a new finish. It's really sharp looking, brand new. Those will start shipping in a couple weeks. So when we put out our press release, we accompanied it with a photo of someone with the armoires open and a big, huge plant's growing, and it's a model and it's the first time she'd been published. We put that photo out with the press release. It got picked up by a bunch of press media, including Weed Maps, which is a big site in our industry. So Weed Maps published an article about the armoire and a roundup, and used that photo, and so she got published, and now part of her portfolio, and she can point to it. Look, I'm a published model. I was so this, so now, so we do photo shoots and all that kind of stuff.
Rising tide raises all ships. No, what is it?
Yeah. A rising tide lifts all boats.
Lifts all boats. Yeah, that's good.
So it's a lot of collaboration. It's I'll help you, you help me. We have the ability to get things published. We have the tools, the products to model, and all that. We'll do photo shoots and all the editing, and we'll do all that stuff. You don't have to pay a photographer. You don't have to pay for all. We'll do all that work. And then on the flip side, then for us, we get models, and then we post it out and tag them back. They get to post it out, they tag us back. We share our audience, they share their audience, and it's a big win-win for everybody.
That's good. That's a clever way of getting the word out there and helping another business, another model.
Kind of like guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, guerrilla. Yeah. How has COVID affected your business?
That's been a real mixed bag, a very mixed bag. There are some ways that it's hammered us and hurt us. For example, we sell a lot of these widgets like the grinders and stuff, and we sell these to smoke shops, head shops, stores. All our we get about 200 different product SKUs. It's kind of hard to get sales going when the stores are all closed.
Yeah, true.
So we have multiple revenue streams. That particular revenue stream took a massive hit. I mean, an 80% drop in March, April, when everything shut down, and it's been coming back now. So it's kind of reversing, coming back. We took a huge hit on that. On the other side, with the armoire, sales have actually gone up, and we had to tool our advertising. This one we advertised in some cannabis-specific lifestyle magazines, like Sensi magazine in the Boston, or the New England market, Sensi magazine, Grow magazine. And so we changed our headline to, stay home, grow your own. And sales of the armoire have increased because people are staying home more and they're nurturing their products. And we've had
makes sense.
It's not the one or two. We've had multiple people telling us it's very cathartic to nurture a plant, that's very stress relieving, and I like opening it every day. Sometimes one guy was telling me, he's like, I open it like 5 times a day to just look at it and futz with my plant, and
that's so cool.
Water it, and just it's like gardening can sticking your hands in soil can be very stress relieving and cathartic.
Sure, that's why people garden. Absolutely. So right behind you is that an armoire?
That's an armoire right behind me. You want to see inside of it?
Yeah, let's see inside of it. Give me a little tour.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
From your laptop, live from your laptop.
Live from my laptop, Eric's living room. So it's just literally, just in my living room, just sitting out here. And then when you the door comes right off, a full easy act, because you are growing it. It's not really furniture, it's furniture inspired, but you have all your carbon scrubbers and fans and things there and fans there. We have our grow light. And right now, it's not super exciting. It's mostly what I call my bucket of dirt mode. But if you look really close, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little itty bitty sprout going. Because I just harvested last week and flipped it and started a new one.
Okay, now does that light, that's on like 4 chains, I think, does that just go up as the plant's growing?
Yeah, that's our 4 winch system, so you can adjust the... close that back up. So you can adjust the light as needed, that as the plant you raise the light. I couldn't quite tell on the laptop the way I was holding it. It was awkward, but could you see the little sprout in there?
I couldn't. It was a little hard to see, but that was great, getting a little tour on the inside.
Yeah, she's about an inch tall. I'm growing, it's called Banana Kush is the strain. One of the nice things about growing your own at home, you're not limited to just what you can get at a dispensary or whatnot. You can grow all kinds of designer strains and stuff. So
talk to me about that. So, and you help people kind of guide them to where they can get all these strains?
Yeah, and obviously we know an awful lot about this stuff, and Vincent does as well. And we know a lot about all the different strains available and the crosses, and and so forth. And we guide people towards where they can get them and so forth. So this one here is called Banana Kush is the strain, and I personally do like blueberry. I like Kush strains. There's kind of a couple main classifications of main buckets of, you have your indicas and you have your sativas, you have your more uplifting head highs, and you have your more sedative kind of, couch lock, drooling on yourself, forgot my name type of, sedentary, put you to bed type, which is what I prefer and what I smoke. I started smoking for insomnia. Years and years and years ago that I was seeing my doctor. The doctor was giving me prescriptions for, like Ambien and Lunesta, and the side effects were terrible. I couldn't take them. I'm like, dude, I just can't do this. And tripped across cannabis. I wasn't really a smoker. And then I was at a party People were passing around, and actually the party was at my house, where people were passing out back, and I was like, no, I'm all set. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, all right, here. I took a hit, and then I was on the couch like an idiot and couldn't even remember my own name. I was done, and woke up the next day, and it was towards the end of the night. It was late at night, and woke up the next day refreshed. I slept like 9 hours. I'm like, I haven't slept 9 hours. I can't even remember the last time. This is amazing. And that's when I was like, hey, I want more of that, and forget the prescription drugs and the Lunesta and that kind of stuff and all their side effects. It's all natural. And that's when I started smoking. So I smoke pretty much every night, all the time, 365 days a year, but only at night. I don't smoke during the day. Many people do. It is what it is. I'm not judgmental, but that's not my thing. I smoke it, and I'm a night smoker. To help me sleep. And so I like those sedative kind of Kush strains. And I like the fruit flavored. I like the blueberry Kush and things like that. So this is the first time I tried this one. It's a banana Kush. So I named her Flegel.
Flegel from the banana splits.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, you have to be of a certain age to catch that one.
The 1972 or 71-ish.
Late 60s up into the early 70s.
Flegel. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was the high dog. He had the glasses to cover his red eyes. That is too funny. So now, the dirt, it doesn't come with seeds. It does not come with dirt or soil?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, no, the soil, we tell you what to get. The consumables are the seed, soil, and water. And we tell you what to get specifically. Okay, but we don't ship it with it. That's pretty heavy, and it's like those are your consumables. Yeah. There's an hydro store or gardening center, So we tell you what to get and where, but people just get that locally.
Yep. So now, if you were to go with like Banana Kush, and then you want to try like in a month or so from now a completely different strain, would you have to change the soil, or the soil is still the same?
No. So what happens is you saw the pot in there with that pot, that whole thing gets basically consumed, and you replace it. You replace it with new soil. The soil is about like maybe $8 to $10 for a grow, so you just replace it, because that's going to be completely full of roots and everything, and it's going to.
So you cannot use that again once it's fully grown. Okay.
You're done. Yeah, you toss it, and then because what you do is you end up cutting the plant to dry it and whatever, and you just toss the soil. You're done.
Okay.
So I usually get a bag. It's like about $18 at my hydro store, and it does 2 grow. It has enough. Like I use half of it to fill that pot. So I have the other half in the garage, and when this is done, and then I use the other half.
There you go.
Like $9 a grow. And what's nice is, I end up. This was not completely full because I've been using it, but I usually get like this. I get anywhere from 4 to 7 on average of these full jars. These are quart-sized jars out of 1 grow, and then
those 4 to 7 buds.
No, 4 to 7 jars, full jars.
Oh, 4 to 7 jars. So that's like very, very, very expensive if you were to sell that.
Oh yeah. You end up getting anywhere for like street price. Not so much to sell it, but the comparative is for street price.
Right.
It typically grows. Let's say like at a dispensary, like just say middle of the road, like $300 an ounce. It's good quality stuff, like $300 an ounce. If you get 4 or 5 ounces, well, 300, that's $1,200 to $1,500. And sometimes you get 6, 7 ounces. I mean, it's so. I mean, it's. You're getting, I mean, that's why I say it pays for itself in its first grow. I mean, if you're going to a dispensary, and the nice thing about it is we're done, and in 2 months, like now this is gelato, okay? I did gelato. I still have a couple of jars of my Dark Devil left. Now I've got a whole mess load of my gelato, and I'm growing Banana Kush. I grow something different every time.
How long will Banana Kush, how long does it take for it to be fully grown if you can harvest that?
60 days.
Really? That's quick.
8. That's quick. It's very quick.
Wow.
Yeah, very quick.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. Thanks so much for being on the show. And anything else you wanted to share about Green Goddess?
Well, obviously you said greengoddesssupply.com. Check us out online. Anyone who's watching has a smoke shop or head shop or dispensary, would love to talk to you about our accessory products. I just really appreciate you taking time, having me on the show, and we should do
a virtual clink.
Virtual clink. Toast.
Virtual
toast to
clink.
my host.
Let me move this out of the way. All right, ready?
All right.
Where am I? All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Close. You came close. You're about 3 inches away. That's good. Eric, great meeting you, man. Let's stay in touch. I'm going to go ahead and follow you on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Go ahead and like our page. I'll like your page. We'll do all that stuff. And we will talk. Absolutely.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
I appreciate it very much. You have a great evening.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
All right. Bye.
That was awesome. Eric Robichaud from Green Goddess Supply. You guys like that? That was cool. You like that? I felt like a newbie. Like, do you have to get dirt all the time? I don't know. It's all new to me. It used to not be new to me. I will admit, years ago, it used to not be new to me, but it's kind of new to me, but it's fascinating. And man, that is a really good deal for like just over $1,000, $1,500 or whatever he said, even maybe a little less than that. You can get this thing and the armoire is just going to pay for itself. So definitely go. There's nothing else like that out there. There's stuff like it that they claim, but it's not, because I did a little bit of research, and those little tents and things that people try to create, it's not. So follow Eric. Definitely follow Eric. And follow his Facebook page. And go ahead and do this, because the world is changing, folks. The world is changing. The medical field is changing, as we all know. And who do we have? We got Eric Burr. Hello, Eric. Glad you could be on with Dave. Yeah, thank you, Mark, for hooking us up. Mark's great. Mark is awesome. Mark is the great connector. The great Eric is off camera doing something. That's all I'm going to say. Doing something. Hey, I like to close the show with a joke. They're not always good. I don't always have good jokes. And Eric, stay on. I got an after party. Okay? Stay on for like 5 more minutes. Little after. I'll tell you what the after party is later. But, closing joke. Eric is saying, thank you. Good. Thank you, guys. If this is your first time coming to Wine with Dave, I build up businesses. That's what I do. I love meeting people. I'm fascinated with people and what they do with their lives. And I think this guy is on the right track. He's... Oh, I heard some little feedback. So he's doing what he wants to do. That's awesome. So closing joke. Let me get things. I gotta get things lined up. I'm not a professional comedian, but you know what my favorite word is? My favorite word is drool, because it just rolls off the tongue. Drool. It kind of rolls off the tongue. Tomorrow night, Danielle Harbour, N2 Publishing. Friday night, Jimmy Page Disciple, Zoso Lookalike. Come on, Led Zeppelin. Let's do this thing. Wrap up the weekend. Support a local person who's promoting other local people. Come on. Share some love. Dave England, Wine with Dave. Be well.